Hey guys! So this is another very highly requested tutorial and I wasn't sure how I was going to do it because I'm not an animator, but you guys really want to know how to animate on Fire Alpaca. Recently, from its new update, maybe it's been around for a year, I'm not sure, but Fire Alpaca gave you the ability to animate kind of in a way. Fire Alpaca offers a few options that makes it easier for you to animate. And there are some tutorials on YouTube right now how to animate on Fire Alpaca, and it's correct, but it's not in the way that Fire Alpaca wanted you to animate on it. So I'm just going to show you what Fire Alpaca has to offer you in terms of animation, and hopefully it makes things easier for those who want to animate. So what you're looking at right now is my new end slate, and I wanted to make this right. I couldn't figure out what facial expression I wanted to put on my face, and so I decided I'm just going to use every facial expression that I want, and I'm going to make it animated so that it just switches between facial expressions. So I'll show you right now. This is 8, see, like that. Boop, boop. So many different facial expressions that I couldn't decide on what I wanted. And if you notice that these things are also moving, the heart right here, the text, and the scissors right here. Let me see if I can, there we go, that's pretty okay. So if I was to show you frames by frame, it would be, there we go. Sorry, I got a little quiet. But notice how different things are moving, and it's not that big of a deal. Like, it's usually all of this stuff. These two things are just 2 frames repeated over and over. These are 8 different frames. The face is just the only thing moving. There's really nothing else moving there. So as you can see, each layer is a different frame that I'm going to be using in my end slate. And this isn't a very good example for animation just because it's not really like a different frame each time, really. That's why I'm going to do a new example for you just to make it a little easier for you to understand what onion skin mode is, for those of you who are wondering what that is. I'm going to make this white really fast, and then I'm going to doodle something for you just so that it's easier for you to see. I'm going to doodle like a face, and I'm going to make them blink, I guess. Like I said, I'm not an animator. I don't do this very often, so it might not look right because I just don't practice enough. I use the animation thing for very simple GIFs, like you saw right now for the end slate, or I'll do the GIFs for Game Grumps quotes. I don't know if you've seen those on Tumblr, but I do all of those. And sometimes I'll make little pixelated things move, but it's only like 2 frames, so it's really easy. But I'm going to do this face, and I'm going to make them blink. So let me draw some eyes in a different color so it's easier for you to see. The eyes aren't going to be matching very well, but you know, it is what it is. I'm just doing something very simple for you guys. Give them some eyelashes because they're beautiful. Okay, these are some very far apart eyes, but we're gonna settle for this because, you know, you just gotta take what you get. So I'm gonna make them blink. So what you're gonna do is go up to View and go to Onion Skin Mode. Some of you have been asking what this is. I'm gonna show you right now. So after you have this, you're gonna make a new layer, and notice how when you make a new layer, the only thing that's gonna show is what is on that layer. So if I go to layer 1, let's say I have layer 2. Let me draw something really quick. This is layer 2. That's a scribble. But if you go to layer 1, that scribble is gone. Even though it's still visible, it's not there. It's only going to show you what is on the layer that you're clicked on. And go back to layer 2. Let me delete that. But even though it shows you what's only on that layer, it still shows you a very low opacity picture of what is on the layer underneath it. This is so that it's easier for you to animate the next frame, or to draw the next frame. So I'm going to make them blink. So using the guidelines from the layer underneath, make their eyes a bit closed, like that. Again, I'm not an animator. I don't know how many frames is supposed to go for somebody blinking, but I'm just gonna do my best. I'm gonna go over this. So you're pretty much just tracing over it, but you know, making a few differences depending on what animation you're doing. If you're making somebody talk, you would make the mouth a little different, you know, all that stuff. Great, and then let me draw the rest of the face. I'm not going to do the guidelines just because I don't need them right now. I have them on the layer underneath it anyways. So I'm just going to do that. Sorry, I'm not talking a lot. It's really hard for me to talk while drawing, which is something that's kind of preventing me from streaming. But I want to stream one day when my computer doesn't overheat. Okay, great. So layer 1, layer 2. There we go. I'm gonna make it white, the background white, so let me just do this and then merge those two. Great. So 1, 2. You see that? It's a little different because I used different colors and I didn't do the guidelines, but you get the whole gist of it, right? So I'm going to do another layer, and again, you're going to see what's underneath it. So I'm going to, let's see, should I, God, I don't know how to make somebody blink. I'm just going to do that. Pretend this is where they blink. Just pretend that I know what I'm doing. Pretend that this looks okay. Because gosh dang, I cannot. I'm not an animator. How many times have I said that? I'm just here to show you how to actually use onion skin mode. And, you know, so if you're a better animator than me, you're probably like cringing from how not good I am, but you should understand that, hey, you know, this is just, she's just showing me how to use what Fire Alpaca has to offer. Okay, great. The ear's a little different there, huh? You can probably copy and paste certain things so that it's like exactly the same, but I'm just gonna do, I kind of like redrawing the whole thing because it makes the line art move a little bit and it makes everything kind of charming. I don't know, that's just my opinion. Okay, great. Again, I'm gonna do this right here. I'm gonna talk about that green thing. I'm gonna talk about that green thing. So if you make a new layer over it, right, it's gonna show you what's the layer under it in pink. But let's say you're gonna make a new layer and it's between two layers. The pink is still gonna be the layer that's underneath it, but then it's also gonna have the layer that's above it in green. So if you notice that the animation is a little wonky and you kind of need an in-between frame in there to make things a bit more smooth, you can do that and I'll show you like, okay, well, there's too big of a jump. Maybe I'm gonna do something like in the middle between those two, you know, like that. But I don't care enough, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna again make the background white just so that it's easier for you to see. So if I go between the layers, it's gonna show you how I did that. Look at that. That's not too bad. Notice how, again, since I redrew everything, that the line art changes a little bit. If you don't like that, you know, you can just copy and paste it, but I like how it looks. I think it's really charming. And if this wasn't an onion skin mode, let me take it off. No matter what layer you're clicked on, it's just going to show you what the layer on the very top is, unless you actually hide the layers like that. But in onion skin mode, it just changes to whatever layer you're clicked on. Alright, so you have all of your frames ready and you're ready to animate. So let's say you wanted to view how it's going to turn out. You can go up here to view. You can click autoplay. You have these two options right here too, which is select upper frame. And so it just kind of goes back there. Previous frame. But that you can just do manually by clicking here. I don't know why they even give you those options, but autoplay right here should show you what it would look like if animated. So right here, this is high quality. I'm not sure. Yeah, so if you unclick that, you see how it's all kind of gross and pixelated. I'm going to click high quality again. But here are the speeds between the frames. So 2 frames per second. That's very slow. Right there, the highest is 30 frames per second. Are you ready for this? It's going to be really fast. Whoa! That's a bit too fast. 24 is still a bit too fast. Let's see, that's good. That's good. That's very fast, but you know, it looks okay. But yeah, you can mess around with this. It's kind of just a preview. It's not actually animating for you. It's just to show you this is what it's going to look like once you animate it. So you can just press OK to get out of it or press the X button. To actually animate things, you would have to go up here to File and then click here Export Layers and then in parentheses Onion Skin Mode. So this option, as you might have guessed, is only available if you have Onion Skin Mode on. So if you have it off, so see there's no check mark next to it and you go to File, it's just not going to be available for you to use. So if you notice that it's not available and you're confused, just go up to View and make sure you're on Onion Skin Mode. And then go here, and there it is, Export Layers. So what this is going to do is that it's going to save each layer as its own separate picture. You can do this manually by, let me show you, if you would to just copy and paste to a new canvas, that's wrong, and then go copy and paste, so you can save it like that manually. But why would you do that if it already gives you the option to do it for you? So export layers. You're gonna go, it's gonna show you where you can save it. I'm just gonna save it to my desktop just because it's a lot cleaner there. And then I'm gonna click open. This pop-up is gonna show up and it's gonna be open Alpaca Doga. Is that how you pronounce it? Doga, the animated GIF convert service in a browser. This is the website that Fire Alpaca has for you. It's absolutely free and it's from Fire Alpaca and it's for animating. So you can click yes. It is 100% safe. I'm pretty sure you can still use it if you don't have Fire Alpaca, but yeah. Okay, let's go here. It's gonna open. Sorry, my computer just restarted, so it's gonna be a bit slow. It's gonna be in Japanese first, but don't worry, it should convert to English if you have that set up. So it shows you right here. This is like a little preview. Some words here that I'm not going to read, and it gives you the steps. Look, it even gives you the steps like in pictures to make it easy for you. They just care about you so much. So you're going to click right here. Even if it's not in English or whatever language you speak and read, it's pretty obvious to click here to import the picture. So I saved them onto my desktop. Fire Alpaca is going to save the frames by number. So the first frame is going to be 0, second is 1, and then 2. I'm not exactly sure how many frames you can have. I'm assuming there has to be like a limit, right? But I've never made anything too big, so I'm just going to select all of those and click open, and then it's going to show you how many are ready. So let's see, current images, 3 format images were wrong. So sometimes it'll tell you if something is incorrect, maybe if something is too big. But so far, this canvas is pretty big. So the canvas you can see right here, the dimensions is 1280 pixels wide by 720 pixels tall. That's a pretty big canvas. I mean, it's not super huge, but it's a good size. And it was able to do that, so it's okay. So let's see. This is again 8 frames per second, but you can change it to 30 right here, super fast, or super slow, 0 frames per second. So, oh, that's not 0, it's 0.5 frames per second. That's very slow. I don't even think that option was during our preview, but I'm gonna go with 8 just because that looked okay. It gives you more options right here, complete size, so you can do 100%. It's gonna keep the exact dimensions that you have it saved, but you can make it smaller. So if I was to do 50%, you can see it cuts the dimensions by half, so it's 640 instead, and yeah. So 10%, and it's super small. But I'm just gonna go with 100% just because I don't think you can make it any bigger. You can only make it smaller. So there we go. The 2 other options right here is to loop the playback, which means it's just looping on forever. If you don't want that, you just unclick it and it'll just play. Well, it doesn't show you right here, but it should just play once and then it would stop. But I'm gonna make it loop just because. And then right here, insertion of Fire Alpaca logo. If you have that clicked, that means there's just gonna be a little, like right here, how it shows you, where is it? You see right here in the example, there's a little Fire Alpaca sign right here. That's going to be saved onto your GIF automatically if you don't unclick it. So I'm going to unclick it just because it doesn't really matter, to be honest. And you can also see down here, there's actually a tag or a hashtag on Twitter, Alpaca, Doga, whatever. And these are some examples that people have made. You can actually go on Twitter right now and look up that hashtag, and there should be a bunch of artists who made animations using this, so you can see what you are able to make. I'm not gonna play any of them just because it's not my art and I don't really, you know, I don't want to put anybody's art up here. So I'm gonna finish that, click GIF. It's gonna process that and it says, okay, you're able to download it. I'm gonna download, and it's gonna automatically download to wherever most of your things are saved onto. I think for me, it automatically downloads onto my download folder. Okay, so I'm gonna open that. Where should I open that? I'm gonna go somewhere really fast. Please ignore all of this. So I'm gonna upload this to Tumblr just because if I was to open it on my computer, it wouldn't really play. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. So I'm gonna go to my downloads because that's where it usually saves, and I'm gonna look for that. For me, it doesn't really give me the option to name it, so it names it some really weird code like this, right there. So I'm just gonna open that. And then this is how it looks. Notice that right there? It's pretty cool, pretty cool. And there's the finished product. This is just an example. It's not, but you can make some really, really good things. Notice the quality is pretty good. It's better than a lot of other GIF making website that I've used in the past. This is a full size. Not too bad. I'm trying to figure out if it ruins the colors. I don't think it ruins any of the colors, but I have some examples somewhere on my Tumblr of GIFs I've made using this program. So I'm gonna go to my Tumblr really fast. Sorry, this isn't supposed to be like a shout out to myself or anything. There we go. So this is what the end slate's gonna look like. You're gonna see in a second. I've made this using that. The frames are a lot slower than 8, like I've said. Let me look up right here. This is another GIF that I made using Fire Alpaca. It's just 2 frames, but it's kind of like a little bouncing little cat boy. I love him. And yeah, so like I said, I'm not an animator. I just do really, really simple things like this, but it's really, really helpful. And if you don't know any good GIF maker websites, like a lot of the times they will resize your image without telling you, or it'll make things really pixelated and not good quality. This website that Fire Alpaca provides you is pretty good. The colors are exactly like I left them, and it's pixelated because I made it pixelated. So yeah, it's really good. I recommend it. Alright, you can just look at this other example I have while I tell you that I'm very thankful for you watching this video, and I'm really hoping that you found this at least a little bit helpful and that it motivates you to do some really nice and quick animations. Again, I don't know if animation is the correct term because it's not like an animation program, but it does offer a lot of options to make it easier for you. So I recommend that you try it at least once, even if it's just 2 frames, because let's be honest, that's what most of my animations are. Okay, thank you for watching. I do video requests, and you can pay me to draw you stuff with my commissions, which is everything. All of my social media stuff and all of my commission info is in the description. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Bye!
सदस्यता ले यहाँ क्लिक करें मेरा चैनल नवीनतम अद्यतन
The end. My channel subscribe, click here to latest update. Bye.